Hey guys, I spent all day yesterday going through the new 9 trailer with the Mad Hatter song by Avenged Sevenfold, and I have found a lot of really cool stuff. I think I have found some stuff that some of the other people in the community have not noticed. So in this video, I'm not going to show you all the obvious things. I'm going to show you the things that you have to literally go frame by frame to look at and figure out and start piecing together inside the trailer. I was looking for objects that are in sets, so more than one, and they're duplicated around the map. That can sometimes identify some basic Easter egg steps for like opening up Pack-a-Punch or even the main Easter egg. I did find some stuff that looks really suspicious and I'll show you guys that, but the first thing I want to show you is this opening scene. I was really surprised to see that they've got Scarlet on the right. Obviously she looks dead and she's hanging up, and so is Bruno on the left. I didn't even realize that was Scarlet because you can't see her face, but you can recognize her leg tattoo and thigh strap. It just really makes you wonder what's going on. Is this significant to the map or the storyline, or is it just part of the trailer cinematic? We've seen in the past trailers that Treyarch likes to brutally murder the characters, and it didn't really have anything to do with the map or the gameplay. There's another scene where it shows Shaw dead, and I'll show you guys that in a moment, but before I leave this scene, I want to point out something on the bottom right. It appears to be maybe a type of banner that's rolled up. Now you see a lot of banners in the arena area showing alchemy symbols, and most of the time if you're posting a banner, it's unrolled and you can see what it is. I don't see a reason why there would need to be a rolled up banner inside of the arena, so that makes me suspicious. To me, it sticks out like a sore thumb, and it almost looks intentional that they've placed it in this scene right here with those bodies. It shows up in another scene where Diego is drinking one of the new elixirs, and you can see it in the background. It's rolled up, it's not displayed, so this will be one of the first things I check out when we spawn into the map. Going back to our characters being dead in this trailer, there's a scene here inside of the arena where Shaw is laying on the ground and dead, and then they show scenes where our characters are actually getting attacked and killed by the zombies. Here's a scene here where Shaw is getting killed, and here's one with Scarlet and then Diego and also Bruno. It looks like Shaw turned on him and didn't let him through that trapdoor, and he got killed by the Blight Father. So to me it was just really shocking to see, and I don't really know what's going on here. Is this just Treyarch's style of trailer, or is this supposed to mean something? The next scene is fantastic, and there's a lot going on here. Here is Shaw. He is walking over to what appears to be a pool of blood. Now there is blood coming out of a fountain, so I'm wondering if that's going to be significant to anything for an Easter egg step. His character kneels down and actually picks up some of the blood and finds it interesting, so maybe that could be pointing us towards something. I don't know. And something about these trailers, it's always about what's going on in the background. They're going to try to distract you with a character in front and center, but the surrounding environment in the back is where you learn the most. In the back here you can see a darkened area along that wall, and that definitely looks like that is going to be one of the mystery box spawn locations. The next scene, as I mentioned, he kneels down to check out the blood, and when he does, you can see a Thompson gun really clearly, and there's a really interesting gold ornament that is on the magazine. At first I couldn't figure out what it was. I was thinking maybe gun charm, and I think a lot of people thought that too, but then I zoomed way in and I was looking at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is a snail, which makes perfect sense because with these types of guns, they often refer to the magazines as snail drum magazines because they look like a snail. But why Treyarch felt the need to adorn the magazine with an actual golden snail, we don't know yet. Hopefully we'll figure that out when we play. The next scene I could be totally wrong about, but I thought it would be a really good idea. So when you're watching the trailer, you see a lot of round circular shields on walls and stuff like that. Well, there's a pit underground that I noticed a shield part sticking up, and it's almost 100% that we're going to be able to build a shield on this map given this setting. And I thought a really good place to find a shield location might be in this pit, and you can see a part right there. Now that might not be the part, but this is going to be a place I definitely look. This next scene I found really interesting. It was a zombie banging on a giant drum, and what was interesting to me is that this zombie was taking on human characteristics. The zombies we're used to seeing are the ones that are stupid and just running around trying to kill us. So what's going on with this guy? Now there's a later scene I'm going to show you guys where the Illuminati leader is controlling the tigers, so maybe he's controlling some of the zombies as well. This next scene scene shows zombies in the main arena, and one of them on the left has a blue cloud of smoke around him. You don't really see what happens past this point, and in another scene, you see a zombie's skeleton crawl out of its skin, and then it looks really acidic and yellow. And this could be related to something I had seen in the video with these bullets. On the left, you can see the shotgun shell is red, and on the right, it's yellow. And in the scene with the yellow bullet for this shotgun, whenever they shoot it, it explodes into this yellow type liquid. So is it possible that this type of ammo could create the negative effect of creating that type of zombies? Are those two related at all? Next scene is something I talked about earlier in the video with the Illuminati leader. Now, some people are calling him the Leper King. I'm not sure what to call him yet, but I love his character. I think he looks badass. The Shadow Man used to be my favorite character, but this guy is taking the top spot, and this guy would make the best Halloween costume and also cosplay. But in this scene, you can see he's pointing to something, and the next scene shows a tiger going into action and attacking Diego. So this Illuminati dude is extremely powerful. Clearly, he's able to control these tigers. Also in the scene, you can see the new design of the wall buys, and I think it looks awesome. I think it's reflecting the alchemy theme that they have in this storyline, and alchemy, I guess, is what is explaining all the magic and how some of this stuff is happening. But what I think is cool, and I think they may have added as a feature, is the wall gun buys will change color when you can't afford the ammo. There's a scene where it looks like a wall gun buy is red versus the blue, and this is something that IW had done for their zombies mode. I thought it was awesome. You could see from a distance if you could afford it or not, and you could see where your wall gun buy was. Now, this may not be the case here, but hopefully it is. Next thing I want to do is briefly talk about the layout of this map based on what we've seen in the trailer. So you can see this shot right here, and you can clearly see 3 of the statues that we know about, and it looks like the one we can't see is going to be Odin. So the statue of Ra is on the left, and the Danu statue is on the right, and then you can see Zeus on the far back right, and then Odin would be on the far left. It appears as though each of these buildings has 2 floors, and the top floors connect to each other. You can see these wooden walkways right here and how they're connecting the different types of rooms. And based on the statue that's on top of the building, it seems like what's in the building is how it's going to be themed out. So in Odin, you're going to see Viking stuff. For Ra, you're going to see a bunch of Egyptian stuff. For Zeus, it's going to look like a Greek bathhouse. And for Danu, you can see behind these characters right here, there's going to be some greenery and foliage. And based on the footage, it looks like each of these buildings on the second floor, you're going to find a perk machine in each one of them, a mystery box in each one of them, and then also something else that looks like an Easter egg step. Right here is the Zeus building, and you can see you're on the top floor. There's a mystery box location on the right, and you can see the Zeus statue in the back. That is going to hold one of the perks. Here is the Egyptian themed building, and on the left you can see a mystery box location. There is a Ra god statue that's going to hold another perk. And on the second floor, really interesting, and this matches the other rooms, you see a type of gong in the background. This gong shows up in the 4 different god rooms on the second floor, along with the mystery box and the perks. So I'm thinking there could be something going on with these. Here's a shot of the Greek building, and we've seen this second floor area. We were looking the other direction. The perk machine is on the opposite direction, and right here on the back right wall, you can see the same gong model. Here's Odin's building. This is all decked out with Viking theme, and you can see Odin statue in the back right there, and that's holding a perk. And then on the right there, there's that gong again. You can't really make out the icon of the perk on the statue with Odin. It's yellow, and it could be stamina up, who knows. So yeah, there's 4 god buildings. They're themed out based on the statue that's on top of it. On the second floor, they all have perk machines, mystery boxes, and these gongs. All these rooms are really detailed and decked out to the theme of the god, and these gongs are doing their own thing. I'm calling it now that they're probably an Easter egg step for something. Moving on to some of the bosses that we've seen in the trailer, there was this one scene where this gladiator busts through a wall inside of the Viking or Odin's building. Now, I think there's something special going on with this guy. Based on the footage, he is showing up in a special way, and he's not necessarily mixed in with the other zombies. I think this guy could be a special type of event zombie and not one that we're going to get every few rounds. And I'll show you guys why that could be. So in the trailer, this guy also shows up. He's pretty similar to the other guys as far as stature. He definitely has different armor, but this guy shows up mixed in with the zombies. You can see him right here, like leaping and lunging at the character, and yeah, he's just with a horde of zombies. And also there's a scene where you see some fire in the middle of the arena. He's doing the same thing. He's with the zombies and he's jumping at the player. So it looks like this guy is going to be the one we see the most, and he'll have the equivalency of like Brutus or the Russian Manglers Ungarag Karovi or even the Panzer. And there's no way they're going to take and give us like two bosses that are kind of the same. So that's why I think these specific looking gladiator zombies are something totally different. Plus you see the players dealing with them one-on-one, and there's not any zombies around, and they never appear with a horde of zombies. So I'm definitely curious to see what's going to be going on with these guys. They're probably an Easter egg step. And it looks like we're going to get more than one at a time, possibly two, as you see in this shot here. Most people have already seen this, but I think this is so cool. It is such a creative way to allow us to keep our perks, implement it into the new storyline, and make it make sense. So we're getting elixirs instead of gobblegums, and they're still using the very familiar icons that go along with these different gobblegums. And right here you can see that this is clearly Pop Shocks. Now how we're going to actually drink these elixirs, I'm curious about. I don't see any elixir machines around the map, but you never know. This next thing you can only see for a split second, but the new mystery box identification light that shoots up into the sky is going to be red on this map. This next scene looks like it could be an Easter egg step if it actually exists in gameplay, but these zombies bust out of this huge crate and then bust through this wall, opening it up. Seems like a pretty big to-do to just put in a cinematic trailer. It's probably going to be in the game. My guess is it could be the way to open up the area to Pack-a-Punch. This next scene shows the Raw God statue, and this guy's holding a perk, and the perk icon looks like a clock. I had seen somewhere on Reddit where they were talking about the special weapons that we're going to be loading up, like the Scepter of Ra, the Thor's Hammer, and some of the other weapons are going to be on a cooldown time. So you're going to be able to use them and then wait a little while. So this might be a perk that like helps with that time that you have to wait. And this also clearly indicates we are getting a new perk. This next scene shows the Danu statue, and you can see all the foliage, and the icon definitely looks like Mule Kick, where you can get 3 guns. So that's good to see that Mule Kick's returning. Next in the trailer is about the Hammer of Valhalla. This is one of the special weapons that we get to put in our loadout before we even enter the game. This is one of the weapons that's on a cooldown system, and I think that perk with the clock is going to speed up that cooldown. One thing that's interesting about the hammer in this scene is that only one of the little symbols on the side are lit up. But in the scene with Scarlet holding the hammer, she's about to attack one of those bosses, and the entire thing is lit up. Now, Jason told us in one of his interviews that these weapons are going to get stronger and stronger as you kill with them. And I think the lights on the side of this hammer are indicating that it's getting stronger and stronger. And when the entire thing is lit up like this, it might be indicating that this thing is at maximum power. Or it could be indicating that she's triggered it to do some powerful attack. You can see she's going after this boss right here. If you look closely at the side of the hammer, you can see 3 symbols right there. And those are a part of the runic alphabet. This translates into ZUT. I have no idea what that means. I looked into it, really couldn't find anything. Hopefully we'll find out in game, or some of you guys out there may know. Last thing I'm going to show you guys is the very center of the arena. And I had talked earlier in my video about sets of things, like sets of 2s, 3s, and 4s. And if you look closely in the scene right here, you can see a set of 4 bowls. There's these type of pillars that are on the 4 corners of this center platform in the arena. And there's these bowls just sitting there on these pedestals. There's not any fire coming out of them or anything. So this will definitely be something I would go and gravitate towards to look at and see if there's anything we can interact with. But that's all I got for this breakdown. I hope this helped you guys out, and we'll see you next video.